Scorpio, your game plan for success in 2025 is right here. For all of you born at the beginning of Scorpio season, Pluto is reaching just about 4 degrees Aquarius this year. You are being forced to get rid of people who have been draining your energy. Events are in motion now that are eating at you on a gut level, emotions you just can't shake. There are people you know who have taken your loyalty for granted and who have abused your dedication. They constantly accepted your giving with very little to no reciprocation, which is why you should comment who's got to go down below. Because Pluto, the co-ruler of Scorpio, is saying enough is enough. And now you are being given no choice but to release the dead weight and free yourself for something greater on the other side. This is the only way to take full advantage of this once in a 6-year burst of creativity, but we will discuss that when we land on Jupiter in a little bit. As for dealing with Pluto's energy, Scorpio, my advice to you is let them and let it go, which will help you leverage Neptune. Neptune's floating around between the last few degrees of Pisces and the first couple degrees of Aries. Those of you who were born at the tail end of Scorpio are experiencing a creative flow with an abundance of manifestational energy. It is a time to align with the true vision that you've had for yourself. And if you have been building towards your ideal sense of self-expression, it's time to merge with that role. Whereas for those of you born at the beginning of Scorpio season, it's a time to take all that you've learned over the last 13 years while Neptune was in Pisces and begin to analyze that development in such a way that you produce the most efficient skill sets possible, so that all the actions that you take are completely aligned with who you truly are. Your life may be completely rearranged at this time, as the old ways dissolve and the new, more efficient ways enter in. For my early Scorpios, it's about developing mastery over your ideal sense of self-expression. For my late Scorpios, it's about using the mastery already developed in the last 14 years to dissolve any wasted output in your life. This way, as Uranus travels through the last 7 degrees of Taurus and the first couple degrees of Gemini, those of you born at the end of Scorpio season can cash in on the peak of an 84-year cycle. You are freeing yourself from all things that you didn't approve of. You have worked hard to develop your individuality, and now all the structures in your life need to be supportive of this unique role. Any structures not aligned with optimal self-expression will be brought to light by pressure from forces outside yourself. Uranus is making you choose either yourself, your desires, your freedom, your individuality, or to double down on all those things that would suppress you. Being aware of this allows you to accept the sudden changes Uranus is bringing into your life without fearing the loss of the old, which was only backing you up. For those of you born at the beginning of Scorpio season, once again you are in a time of analysis. Of course, this is in order for you to take more efficient action in the future. And specifically, in this case, it's a bit different than the Neptune and Saturn pressure. On the waning side, the point of this is to synthesize all the skills you have built and developed over the last 14 years and to reconfigure your role and your skill sets to such a degree that you can bring these developments out into the world for greater self-expression and personal fulfillment. Once again, don't be surprised if there's a total breakdown of the old way of doing business, so a more efficient way can eliminate waste in relation to personal output. And when it comes to Saturn, we have a lot of ground to cover, as it goes all the way from the middle of Pisces to the first couple of degrees of Aries. For those of you born in the second half of Scorpio season, it's a time to truly realize the structures that you have been building in your life that allow you to flow naturally from one value to another as your gut evaluates them. It is also a perfect time to solidify the vision you have been working on for years now. Just be cautious, because if your behaviors have been less than virtuous, meaning you have been bad, you may experience the rapid manifestation of the results stemming from these behaviors. And when it comes to those born in the earliest days of Scorpio, it is once again a serious time for making your life more efficient. Things may seem a bit slower this year than my early Scorpions would prefer, but if you listen to the lessons of these planets and trust that the best path forward is good analysis and evaluation of your skill sets, you can figure out how to best apply those skill sets You can focus on doing extremely productive work to become the most ideal version of yourself post 2025. Finally, for Jupiter, it will travel through the last 2/3 of Gemini and through almost the entirety of Cancer, splitting the year up nicely for all Scorpios, where early 2025 will be a time to analyze your conscious value and economize your growth in the world. And then later in 2025, it will be a time to really start creating something amazing with the harvest you realized just a year or two ago. Scorpio, you can't fight this feeling anymore, and in 2025, your gut will be your guide, and it will guide you like never before.